Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Whitney Ward.
And I'm Tom Sherry. Breaking news. Restrictions are being lifted in Phase 2 and 3 of Governor Jay Inslee's safe reopening plan. With Washingtonians following the statewide mask mandate, Governor Inslee says it is now possible to ease restrictions.
Today's announcement surrounds mostly youth sports, businesses, and restaurants. So let's start there. Some youth sports like soccer and cross country will be allowed to resume now. That decision on which sports can be played will be based on certain health metrics. Also, the risk factors involved in each sport, that will be factored in as well. Governor Inslee said high school football, though, still will not be allowed to resume in most counties because it's been deemed a high-risk sport due to close facial interactions. Today's announcement applies, though, to both indoor and outdoor sports.
As the son of a coach and an athletic director, I'm really happy that we're going to have our kids be able to go back and play soccer, go back and play softball, go back and run and cross country, play tennis, play flag football, play lacrosse. This is a really good day for our young people to get back in these really healthy activities.
Also under the new rules, realtors can hold open houses as long as they abide by county gathering size mandates. Wedding receptions can also resume, and libraries can reopen indoor operations at 25% capacity for counties that are still in Phase 2.
Now, when it comes to restaurants, you do not have to be from the same household to sit inside a restaurant now. Alcohol can also now be served until 11 p.m. as opposed to 10. Table sizes are also going to increase for counties that are in Phase 2 as well as Phase 3.
In other news, a suspect accused of stabbing a man in downtown Spokane yesterday afternoon made his first court appearance today. The victim told police that he was standing near the STA Plaza when he felt a sharp pain in his right side. He said he saw the suspect running away from him and realized that he'd just been stabbed. The suspect is 37-year-old Patrick Page. Now, according to court documents, after the stabbing, Page went into a downtown bar, tried to throw his clothes away in the bathroom, and left blood on the sink. A judge set Page's bond at $450,000. He is scheduled to be arraigned on October 13th.
New at 4 tonight, the Spokane medical examiner confirms that Diamond Murrow's death was accidental. You may remember this case. Her cause of death now listed as fentanyl toxicity. She is a black woman whose death raised some questions on social media. Police say she died of an accidental overdose on June 28th. Now, on July 3rd, the Spokane Police Department addressed some accusations that had been circulating on social media, especially in a thread on Twitter, saying in part, unfortunately, inaccurate information indicated the police department was not conducting an investigation and had ignored this incident. That information spread across social media. It is inaccurate and grossly misleading.
Well, this week, a number of local schools have students heading back to in-person classes. So let's break down the latest on what you need to know about back to school. Today in Central Valley School District, the second half of kindergartners return to in-person learning. The first half started in-person classes yesterday. Tomorrow, all those who chose in-person learning will return.
Spokane Public Schools also welcoming its kindergarten students back into the classroom tomorrow. The district is implementing an A-B hybrid schedule, meaning that some students will return tomorrow and then the other half will return on Thursday. The district is asking parents now to fill out those daily health check forms online before taking your kids to school. Masks also will be required on the bus or once parents drop them off. A Sheridan elementary teacher shared with us how they'll manage social distancing in the classroom.
The custodians went in and they measured out the 6 feet of distancing and marked spaces on the floor, so we know exactly where each child needs to be so that they can be safe in the classroom. In the hallways, at Sheridan, we have vinyl dots on the floor that are 6 feet apart so that we can help them to maintain spacing in the hallway.
Students will also get mask breaks when they eat lunch or during recess in designated areas, as well as throughout the day as needed. Tonight at 5 o'clock, KREM 2's Amanda Rowley will have more on what Spokane students and parents can expect when they head back to class tomorrow.
In the West Valley School District, one group of kindergarten students will start in-person learning on Thursday. Those students will then learn from home on Friday. Then the second group of kindergartners will be in person on Friday, and then they'll return on Tuesday of the following week. All classes at Gonzaga Prep High School have been moved online this week following confirmed COVID-19 cases. Athletic and student activities have been postponed as well. It's not known if the positive cases are in students or staff members. The school expects to return to in-person classes on Monday, October 12th. Gonzaga Prep will continue to monitor COVID-19 cases on campus and then will update families regarding reopening in-person classes. Preschool to 12th grade students at 9 Mile Falls School District are switching to a hybrid learning model. The students were previously learning online only. The decision was made in a special school board meeting yesterday. Students will either attend in-person school Monday and Tuesday or Thursday and Friday. Parents will be receiving more information from the school district.
And starting on Monday, students in Post Falls will have in-person learning 5 days a week. Last night, the district voted to move from the orange risk level to yellow, which means minimal risk of COVID transmission. That change now means that students can attend daily in-person classes. Students will still be required to wear face masks and socially distance whenever possible, although teachers say they will be giving students mask breaks throughout the day. Well, a question that we have received to our newsroom quite a lot actually is how close are we moving into phase 3 or closer to phase 3 here in Spokane County? So our Joshua Robinson is breaking that down tonight and answering some more of your most asked questions.
Today, as we take a look at the latest COVID-19 data, we want to specifically target a few key important questions that you have asked us here at KREM. Those questions that you've asked the most, first of all, is the curve flattening here in Spokane County? Are we closer to moving into phase 3? And as schools are continuing to welcome more students back into the classroom, how is COVID-19 impacting local students? So let's start with the first question. To do that, we're going to turn to data from Spokane Regional Health District. And by the way, you can track this information yourself at any time from their interactive web portal. But what we've done is added this 14-day moving average. So that 14-day number is a time frame most researchers use because it's short enough to get an accurate look at where we're at currently, but it's also long enough that it'll help balance out any short-term spikes. So, unfortunately, as we can see right here, the curve is not flattening. In fact, as we take a look, we're almost at some of the peak levels that we saw back in July right now. Of course, that being our worst month yet when it comes to the coronavirus. So if the curve is not flattening, we can get a pretty good idea of what the answer to our second question is going to be. Are we getting closer to phase 3? Well, let's take a look at another representations of how we see that data. The criteria to move into phase 3 includes that we need to see Spokane County have less than 25 cases per 100,000 people in our population over a 2-week stretch. So for Spokane County, that means we would need to see less than about 130 new cases combined over 14 days. And that is represented by this orange line. As we can see, we are most certainly headed in the wrong direction right now. We actually haven't hit this orange line since this date right here. That's May 27th. And that's when the county was seeing daily case numbers in the single digits compared to the last 3 days of the weekend were 216 days combined. So now we're going to look at the last question. How is COVID-19 impacting local students? Well, the two age groups we would have to look at specifically are here, the 0 to 9 range in this royal blue, and here the 10 to 19 range in this orange color. So for young kids from that 0 to 9 range, currently they make up 4% of COVID-19 cases in September and early October. Even with the return to school, that is the third smallest percentage that we can see here on this pie chart. But as we look at older kids and teenagers from the range of 10 to 19, they represent 15% of COVID-19 cases between this period of September 1st and October 5th. That's the second highest right now. That could explain why, as we see case numbers going up, schools are bringing back students generally at the younger ages before bringing back older kids. For KREM 2 News, I'm Joshua Robinson.
Lots of good information there. Let's get into weather. Boy, this is great information for you. If you love warm weather, a continuation of September weather into October, you're loving the forecast right now. 79 degrees, the current temperature. Now, the average high this time of year is 64. We do have a bit of a breeze out of the south at 9 miles an hour. Look at the satellite and radar picture. No cloud cover or rain anywhere along the west coast. Over the next 12 hours, we'll look for continued clear skies. The moon is absolutely beautiful. Check that out. And then temperatures will dip down into the lower 50s and upper 40s in the overnight hours. I'm calling for a low of 47 here in Spokane. Another great day to, if you enjoy warm weather, that is, 79. And if you don't enjoy warm weather, it's okay, because by the weekend you get your wish. We get rain moving in, windy conditions, a high of about 62 on Saturday, lingering showers on Sunday with a daytime high of only about 59 degrees. And then I think next week we'll stay in the 50s as well. I'll check the rest of your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.